The first few days after the fire, there was a lot of tension in the community. People felt that they had been abandoned and they were rightly angry. How did it feel visiting the North Kensington community the first few days after the fire?
Yes, well, I visited, of course, a couple of days after the fire, but I visited actually that day. I came down to see the firefighters, the police, all those who'd been involved in that emergency services response, to thank them for what they'd been doing, but to hear from them directly. I think it was when I actually came to the site and saw the tower and heard directly from the firefighters that I realised how absolutely shocking. I mean, it was really shocking to see that building. And I began to hear more of the stories, more of the explanation of the absolute horror that people had gone through, and started to understand more the depth of the tragedy. I didn't, of course, on that first visit, meet members of the community or survivors. And I'm sorry for not having met them then. I regret that, because I think people perhaps felt that they wanted those of us in power to know that we had understood and recognised what had happened, and perhaps felt that not meeting them immediately meant that I didn't care, and that was never the case. And when I subsequently met victims in hospital and met survivors and residents and talked to them about their experience over those following few days, I was struck by the dignity which they showed in the face of what had been something that had been life-changing for them, and they had lost loved ones, they'd lost all their possessions, many of them, and just a truly horrific experience.